We saw an amazing Week 12 in the NFL. Today, I'm going to be recapping all of the games, starting with the Buffalo Bills at Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving, November 24th. Bills ended up winning 28-25. Bills played good football, but hey, they almost blew it at the end. Detroit Lions playing very good football as well. What happened was poor clock management. I like Dan Campbell, but he has to have better at making better decisions at the end of the game. He's making pretty poor decisions at ending games early in the year as well for the Detroit Lions. The Lions have the talent, but we saw at the end of that game they only need like 1 or 2 yards and they ended up throwing it deep. No reason for that. They also wasted a lot of time off the clock and didn't call a timeout. I think that's a big reason why, of course, they lost that game. Looking at the leaders, passing leader for the game, Josh Allen, 253 yards. Josh Allen also the rushing leader, not only for the Bills, but the entire game, 78 yards. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Lions had 122 yards and a touchdown. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, he could be a Pro Bowler. They just got to get him the ball more. But anyway, I still feel like the Bills are top of the league. Same thing with Josh Allen. He's dealing with elbow injury. My guess is he'll get that taken care of in the offseason. He's basically pushing through this the whole time. Of course, you have to. Bills are contenders. Josh Allen's an MVP candidate. He's not playing like it really much now, but still, he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And then the Lions. I mean, very talented team, like I said. They have the talent. They have the guys. They just got to be better at coaching decisions. They'll get there, though. Then we saw the Giants lose to the Dallas Cowboys 28-20 in Dallas. CeeDee Lamb had 106 yards. Almost had a great catch in a touchdown, but it was called back. It wasn't a touchdown. I guess because his heel touched out of bounds, but it can get confused because don't we see people toe tap all the time to stay in bounds? So I don't really know. But anyway, Giants, they move on. They got to keep going. They still have to make the playoffs, but Dallas looking like one of the better teams in the league. New England Patriots. They lost to the Minnesota Vikings 33-26. Justin Jefferson playing great. I made a short video on that, how he's the best receiver in the league, was making great catches. New England Patriots, though, Mac Jones, probably his best game of the year. He was balling. Of course, we were dealing. The people thought Zappy was the main quarterback. He's going to take over. No, Mac Jones, he was balling. He had 382 yards. But the Vikings, they're quiet on the rush game. Dalvin Cook, one of the better running backs in the league, only held to 42 yards, no touchdowns. Vikings, they move on, and Patriots, they move on. 2 playoff teams. Vikings, I think they'll make playoffs, but Patriots are tough. AFC East, of course, with the Jets, Dolphins, and the Bills. They have a chance for playoffs. They keep pushing, though. I think they got to get a lot of division wins if they want a chance. On to the Sunday games. We saw in overtime, Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing to Cleveland Browns 23-17. Nick Chubb had himself 116 yards and a touchdown. Nick Chubb, of course, played like one of the better running backs in the league. He is one of the better running backs in the league, having a good running back season this year. But we see with the Browns, next week we see Deshaun Watson come back from his suspension. Jacoby Jones played very good. As a Steeler fan, I'll admit Jacoby Jones did his job. He did everything he could. He always did that. Every time he filled in as backup, he always played good. Okay, obviously he's not a starter quarterback, not to be like that franchise quarterback, but he's probably the best quarterback that you want to fill in when you're dealing with quarterback issues. If you're taking like a tanking year where you don't have a quarterback, but you still want to win some games, Jacoby Brissett. We saw that with the Patriots when Tom Brady was suspended. We saw that with the Colts when Andrew Luck retired out of nowhere. They were winning games. Then with the Browns, they're playing good football. Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Tennessee Titans 20-16. Joe Burrow playing great. We're going to be seeing Jamar Chase coming back next week as well. He was dealing with a hip injury. T. Higgins, though, was holding it down. Same thing with Joe Mixon. He'll probably be coming back off a concussion. Pirine, though, playing very good football, both on the run game and receiving game. And then the Titans, Derrick Henry didn't do too much. I mean, he had pretty big reception. I think it was a screen he had, took all the way to the house, then got it punched out at the 1 yard line, and he lost that. So I think the Titans can make the playoffs. Bengals, I think they have a chance to win the AFC North, but they move on. Houston and the Miami Dolphins. Miami defeated them 30-15. It was a blowout at first, but Houston started coming back. Tua threw for 299 yards. Jeff Wilson was the rushing leader of the game with 39 yards. And Tyreek Hill 85 yards. So yeah, they had a good start. I mean, I don't know if you saw the play. Tua got bent like almost in half. It wasn't a good, but it was actually fine. But of course, you don't want to be seeing that happen to your starting franchise quarterback when you're playing very good this year and have a chance to make it deep in playoffs. Chicago Bears lost to the New York Jets in New York, 31-10. Mike White coming back, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. You saw Elijah Moore finally get his first touchdown. Garrett Wilson had 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jets, they found that guy for the rest of the season. I made a video also yesterday about Mike White and his future. I think that Mike White is the future for the rest of the season, but future for years to come, I think they got to figure out somebody else. I think they got to trade for somebody, get a veteran in there. Washington Commanders defeated the Atlanta Falcons 19-13. Brian Robinson Jr. with 105 yards. Yeah, that big hat too. I don't know. That better not become style. It's funny, but it better not be actual legit style where people are taking that serious. But either way, Taylor Heineke still playing. He's a winner. Commanders, they're in playoff contention now. Atlanta Falcons, they fall short. Falcons will be playing the Steelers in Atlanta next week. Of course, Steelers coming off the Colts, which we'll talk about later. Denver Broncos, what is happening with them? They lost to the Carolina Panthers 23-10. We saw Sam Darnold, though, plays some pretty good football. DJ Moore, 103 yards and a touchdown also. Dante Foreman, I mean, the day I bench him, the days I bench him, he'll do very good. I remember he had like 30 points 2 weeks in a row in fantasy. And then I started him, and then he did terrible. And then he had 113 yards this past week. So either way, Panthers, I think their season's kind of just, win some games and deal with problems in the offseason. Broncos, I mean, these are Super Bowl contenders. Everybody had them as Super Bowl contenders beginning of the year. Russell Wilson, MVP season, beginning of the year, they paid him so much money, over $200 million, and they're just playing bad. Don't think so much as Russell Wilson's fault. I do think that it could just be the head coaching position. I mean, obviously I wanted to give Hackett a chance in the beginning of the year because new coach, new system. I wanted to give him like 4 or 5 games, but now it's just not working out. Baltimore Ravens blowing the lead, losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars 28-27. I made a reaction video to this. Trevor Lawrence with 321 yards. He had himself a day. Lamar Jackson was the leading rusher of the game with 89 yards. And Zay Jones, 145 receiving yards for him. He was open a lot. But Jaguars, I think next year they're going to be very good. I think they're going to have a solid draft, maybe even solid free agency. They still have some money. I think they'll be good. Ravens, they got to figure out their defense. Their defensive players and their coaching decisions are what's holding them back. Chargers defeating the Arizona Cardinals 25-24 off a 2-point conversion. Justin Herbert showing that he's still clutch. James Conner, 120 yards, was the rushing leader for that game. Of course, James Conner, I get upset when I think about him because he left the Steelers. I wish we still had him. But it is what it is. DeAndre Hopkins, also 87 yards. Then Vegas and Seattle. Vegas won 40-34. We all know what happened. Josh Jacobs taking it to the house, winning the game for them. He had 229 yards. I think he had over 300 total yards for them, for the Raiders. I mean, he has a chance to be All-Pro this year. Honestly, as All-Pro running back, he might take that spot. Rams, they're falling off. It's weird what's happening with them. They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs 26-10. Obviously, we're seeing Matt Stafford down, Cooper Kupp out. I think Aaron Donald will retire this year. Maybe we might see Sean McVay head to TV. I don't know. But MVP-wise, Patrick Mahomes has that right now. Kansas City, probably the best team in the AFC. New Orleans Saints lost to the San Francisco 49ers 13-0. What a weird game that was. I mean, 13-0 defensive game, absolutely, but Saints, they got to score more with the talent that they have on offense. I mean, I know they're banged up, but you have Kamara, you have Olave. I don't know if Landry is playing, but still, defense did everything they could. They got to score something, field goal or something. That's crazy. Got shut out like that. But still, I thought you think you get shut out. San Fran will put up 20 plus. Only 13. Christian McCaffrey was pretty quiet. Elijah Mitchell was their leading rusher, 35 yards, leading rusher of the game, 35 yards. But they're both dealing with injuries now, so we'll see what happens there. Then in Green Bay, losing to the Philadelphia Eagles, 40-33. Aaron Rodgers was okay. I think he had 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He leaves the game with an abdominal injury. Jordan Love comes in. He throws a touchdown quick. Of course, that brings up quarterback controversy. Aaron Rodgers is still starting next week, so trust me. Aaron Rodgers still QB1. He's still the best quarterback on that team. Jalen Hurts, 153 passing yards and 157 rushing yards. Unbelievable. Jalen Hurts is playing. And Christian Watson, once again, playing very good as a rookie for the Packers. 110 yards and a touchdown. Then yesterday, Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Indianapolis Colts 24-17. We saw Najee Harris score. We saw Benny Snell score. We saw Michael Pittman for the Steelers for the Colts score. And then I forgot who else. I think Jonathan Taylor scored a touchdown as well for them. But hey, Steelers move on to 4-7. Colts, they start to move out of playoff spot. They had a chance, but they're starting to fall off. I think Matt Ryan needs to retire. I do respect Matt Ryan. I do like him, of course. He's an old quarterback. I respect him. But I think he needs to retire. Coaching decisions, figure that out in the offseason. But I think this has got to be Matt Ryan's last year. He's too slow. He's not Tom Brady. He's not Aaron Rodgers. I think he got to retire. But it is what it is. Hey, Steelers move on though. They're winning. Playoffs for both though. I think they're both short, but still, I'm still gonna be happy when the Steelers win. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel. Help me get to 7,000 subscribers. I'm out. Peace.